In Lagos State government, are you giving us rice this year? Will there be rice for sale? Okay, let me leave you out of
Thank
that
you,
one.
sir.
Let's stick to
Although I
domestic
think, I believe there is actually. I think
Are you
there's,
sure?
I think so. I will make inquiries.
What room number in secretariat are we going to go to?
I'll make inquiries and share with you.
All right.
So this year we try to focus on heightening awareness, because we know that these issues are shrouded in secrecy. And if you want to encourage people to speak up and speak out, they need to know who to speak to. They need to know the support services that they can access, upon speaking out. Because a lot of people remain in abusive relationships because they don't even know that they are in abusive relationships, or they don't even know that, okay, I can access medical, legal, psychosocial support at no cost.
Even medical?
Even medical, yes, in Lagos State. So what we've done, we've identified our key stakeholders this year, and we have strengthened our partnerships with them. So, for instance, we realized that the CDCs and the CDAs, so the CDCs are the Community Development Councils and Community Development Associations, they have informal structures in the community, and they are very, very, very powerful. Some cases are reported to them, and some cases are settled at that level. And we found out that, that was doing more harm than good, because it's happening in the community. These community leaders are aware, and, perpetrators are not being held accountable, which then encourages more people to perpetrate the crime.
Yeah.
So what we did this year was to establish partnerships with the CDCs and the CDAs. Aside from just, engaging and enlightening them on these issues, we've established focal persons in the different CDCs and CDAs, where we're now getting reports from those focal persons. Another thing we did this year was strengthen our relationship with the religious leaders, because we know of a truth that at least 60% of survivors of domestic violence would have reported to their religious cleric before coming to us, or before going to a non-governmental organization. So it's important for us to, engage religious leaders about these issues, and more importantly, let them know where their intervention should stop and where ours should begin.
Exactly. I was going to say that the problem with there's no problem with religious leaders, but the problem with reporting to religious leaders is usually they like to look for what they consider to be a resolution.
Settlement.
A settlement, as opposed to bringing it to the fore and getting some legal input into whatever resolution you have. So what you do, if care is not taken that, you'll be having more repeats.
Exactly.
So it's for people to, I think that one thing I'd like to tell my listeners is, please report. Report to, you say you have a desk at every police station.
Yes, in the family support unit, yes.
Though the reports I've been getting from at that level have not been encouraging, which is a Nigerian factor, really. There's very little you can do about it. There's a lot of compromise at that level. And so do we say that most reports, if you can, they should head for your office?
No, we don't want to centralize services. The lady we were just attending to, she said all the way, asking her to come all the way to the secretariat to allow her and she's indigent, right?
Yes.
There are issues. I don't think anybody can boast of an institution that is perfect.
Perfect, yes.
But there are ways of going around these little challenges that they may experience upon contact at those agencies.
Without mentioning her name, for example, one can use her case study. So her husband beat her up at some point, didn't allow her work, and then now has bound her to the Philistines, as it were, playing games with her welfare. So I'd also like to alert our woman to the fact that ever before you sign that dotted line in any manner, even in child manner, you better be sure that there's agreement on what you can and cannot do. Because this woman wouldn't be in such a dire situation
if she was empowered.
But in the first instance, the man didn't allow her work. I think the problem starts from there.
Yes.
If a man says
that's a red flag already.
That's a red flag. If a man says that, no, you can't walk, I have the capacity, what if something happens to him?
Exactly.
Or what if he turns rogue at some point?
Or he passes on.
He passes on. He passes on. The system of justice across the nation, across the country, is the Nigerian factor again. And I think we'd like that sped up in your case so that people are not discouraged. Are you planning to enlighten especially men on the fact that it is a crime not to be responsible for your family under any excuse? I think there is still that feeling that there's some level of discretion and settlement. I think that it's time you started throwing some of them in the slammer to make an example. No, it's true. Abi Sheriff, what do you think? I think it's about time you started in the new year. You decide that, look, for this month, we are going to make example out of, because you still find them, I work closely with you.
Yes,
you still find them saying that, okay, maybe I will come on one day or I will come on another, and they have all these things. Do you think there's a need, for example, for us to have separate courts for this?
We do. We have the family courts.
You have the family
in Lagos
courts.
State. Yes, if the family courts in both at the magistrate level and at the high court level. And then for domestic and sexual offences, we have specialized courts.
Specialized courts.
Oh, yes.
Where do they sit?
For the domestic and sexual offences court, they sit in Ikeja. But the family courts are across the different magisterial districts.
So the next question people will be asking me is, do I need a lawyer to appear in those courts?
Oh, yes. But then you don't need to pay for a lawyer if you are indigent. So we can provide pro bono lawyers. Office of the Public Defender has pro bono lawyers. Then we have some private law firms that we work with that provide pro bono service.
The reports one gets from some of those pro bono lawyers have not been too encouraging.
Oh.
Yes, they tend to have, and I don't know what PR mileage they get from saying they are pro bono lawyers, but one or two cases that I've had, and I think some of them also have the difficulty in reality, transportation, name it. So maybe. Do you don't pay these pro bono lawyers, do you, per case?
No. Well, it depends. So there's a particular one we had to provide some little financial support because he had to provide representation in Ogun State. So we paid for his logistics to Ogun State because he was willing to appear at no cost. I mean, his court appearance, he waived that, But the concept behind pro bono is that, you're financially okay. And now you want to give back. Yes. You want to give back to the gent.
Some of them are not okay. I'm sure you know that, Mrs. Adeni. Some of them are not particularly okay. Do you think that perhaps we should look at a situation where, okay, even if you are pro bono, at least your personal cost is covered. And your fees are not. You could, because the truth is there are people who might, want to do pro bono, but because of the situation in the country, because the major problem with our people really is this fear of, if I get a lawyer now, how am I going to pay?
Exactly.
And even if you do get a pro bono, from the few people I've interacted with, one or two in divorce cases, the lawyer sometimes will tell you, of course, I have somewhere to go. And some of them in the real terms these days might not even have the logistics either to fuel their vehicles or to go. Nobody wants to go on the downfall in wig and gown. The numbers to call are 0201 2770993 and then 0201 4657190 is the female line. Because this subject is very, very important. We will waive our usual instruction that if you've called, sometimes if you don't call, anybody can call now, especially those who have. I'd rather have people who want to inquire as opposed to those who will call in to say thank you. I will say thank you on behalf to Mrs. Adeni, so that we can create. There are people out there who might want to ask real questions. Yes. So, Mrs. Adeni, let me thank you on behalf of my listeners.
Thank you, sir.
You've all helped me say thank you to her for this great service. And you've been doing this for close to 5-6 years.
Since 2014, so 10 years.
Olodeo. 10 years. Okay. The WhatsApp number is 0809 597 5805. So I think we have a caller. Let's see if somebody has a question. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Jimi. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. No, I thank you for your guest. And
yes.
I think we appreciate your guest. And
yes.
all of what she has said really existed in CDA level.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm a community leader, and we have a lot of one or two cases like that.
Yes.
In my community, and we make a frantic effort to liaise with the local police station.
Yes.
So yes, I quite agree with her that there's a lot of sensitization that needs to be done.
Yes.
Yeah. So that people were aware of all these things, all these services. So
your name, sir?
Hello, sir.
Yes, your name, sir?
Yes. I'm Mr. Abangbe.
Mr.
Abangbe.
Okay, the what I'd like to say, because there might be people who are listening to you being a CDA member, is what do you focus on really? The law taking its course or resolution?
Yes, sir.
What do you focus on?
Yeah. No, in my CDA,
yes,
we've taken time to have a working database, know who is who in the community.
Yes.
So with this now, we can easily track any incident like that. For example, in my CDA, we have about 15 streets, 200 residential buildings, and about 1,000 residents. So we are working hand in hand with the...
Which CDA is this, please?
Well, it's Kajola.
Kajola. Okay, we'll get in touch with you. We have another caller, so we give people a chance. But you heard. You heard. One thing I'd like us to stress is we need to let the law take its course.
Definitely.
As opposed to resolution, because that, I think, is where the problem
and
lies.
That's where how we will deter,
yes.
Perpetrators.
Okay. Hello, good morning. How many cops do you have in that place?
I don't understand, Uncle Jimmy. Good morning.
Who is speaking?
This is Joy calling.
Joy,
See, the question I want to ask Uncle Jimmy.
Yeah.
If you try to tell some women, say, this abuse, it has to stop. And they are still saying, that is how men behave. This is that. What can you do about that? Even in the church, I raised this matter when they were talking about love. I said, why some men, when they are going out, they have not married, they take their wife out. Why later will they say they will not take the woman out again?
Okay. I think thank you, madam. Your point has been made. Go and look after those. Go and look after the cause. But I think the point has been made.
Yes.
For me, in the new year, in my in our interaction, I'd like to continue to stress on penalties, and I'd like to see people being prosecuted to make it's important that people know that it is a crime for you not to look after your children. Can you please tell us the laws under which that and what the punishment is for us to emphasize that?
So failure to provide necessaries is provided for in the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015, and it attracts up to 3 years imprisonment.
To provide necessaries?
Yes.
What are the necessaries?
Food, accommodation. Shelter, health care, education.
Is this spouse and children or for your children?
For children. Failure to provide necessaries. And then, the Child's Rights Law talks about the rights of the children of a child and what they're entitled to. And what the parents and caregivers are supposed to do.
Is there an option of fine
for that failure to? No, it's criminal. Let me confirm. I can confirm.
But it's 3 years.
3 years, yes, in the criminal law.
You've heard now, all of you outside there. You've heard that it is a crime, meaning that you feel go jail.
Ben.
Yes, you feel go chop beans for 3 years in Kirikiri or. And I don't think they put them in a maximum prison. But So what about domestic violence? Is a crime?
So that's the thing. Majority of survivors of domestic violence are still interested in the relationship. They just want the beating to stop if it's physical. And you find that very, very few want their spouses to be jailed. Perhaps because of religious factors, social cultural factors. What will people say? You sent your husband to jail. You sent the father of your children to jail. So it's very rare that we have people that are desirous and willing to go through the full criminal justice system in bringing that person to book. So yes, it is a crime. It depends on the amount of violence or the level of violence. It can range between 7 to 14 years.
Okay. Now, when somebody is charged for this crime, that person is charged by the state or by the police?
By the state.
So doesn't the issue of the, for want of a better word, the partner to the accused person, does the discretion lie with that partner to withdraw the case? So it's not a civil suit.
But the partner is the star witness.
Witness and can turn
can become a hostile witness. I mean, it happened a while back when this lady came into the office. Her white shirt I can never forget. Her white shirt was drenched in her blood. Her eye was swollen, black eye, hair. She was a mess. So she said, she wants us to call the husband. We said, we cannot call him. What do we want to hear? That why did he beat you? What did you? No. We insisted. We went to the commissioner of police. He was enraged. We got to court. Do you know, in court, this woman raised up her hand and said, she doesn't know why Lagos State government is doing this.
Wow.
Lagos State government is trying to break her home. So we realize that if we're truly survivor-centered, it's really not. Yes, we put our foot down. We were, afraid that this woman was going to become a statistic. But then that showed us that we have to be on the same page with the clients.
You see, because what is sad is this, and this is my very strong belief. Until we begin to punish people severely, it won't stop. Until you begin to punish people severely, irrespective of whether
they want to proceed
or not. They want to proceed or not. Because once you get one or two, I believe in enforcement of the law. Once you get one or two examples, everybody will sit out straight. Especially the law of neglect. You have children. If you believe they are not your children, go do a DNA test. But until we throw some people in jail for neglect, look at the case we have in hand. Playing games here and there. It shouldn't be. 9:24, we are going to take a short break. Can we take one more call before we go on break? No way. We are going to take a short break, and when I come back, we'll continue this discussion with Mrs. Vivo Adeniyi. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
It's the season to love. It's the season to share. And the season to give. Your number one station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. More talk, news, and sports after this. As the year closes, Power Oil thanks you, our resilient community. Through challenges, you've shown strength, creating moments that matter. Together, we've walked for healthy hearts, celebrated life, and cooked meals filled with care. Your resilience inspires us to keep supporting your health and well-being. This season, let's continue to make meals that matter, cherishing love and hope into the new year. Merry Christmas and a powerful new year from Power Oil.
Power Oil. 5 Alive Poppy. So much pop. So many ways to pop it. He gulps it. She chews it. He slurps it. Filled with pulp in every bowl. Everyone pops it their way. So, how do you pop it? Hi, Erica.
Jimmy, I learned that Betano is sending 3 football fans to England to watch the big game of Aston Villa versus Tottenham for free. Imagine us going there together. That would be amazing. Okay, bye.
What? He hung up to play.
Play with Betano and stand a chance to win an all-inclusive trip to the UK to watch live the big game of Aston Villa versus Tottenham. Betano, proud partner of Aston Villa. Play responsibly. Available only to those over the age of 18. The promo is valid from November 1st to February 28th, 2025.
Hey there! Yes, you! You just won 5,000 Naira cash! And you, sitting by the side, there's 1 month Showmax subscription to watch the Premier League waiting for you! You behind! Of course! You're not left out! How does 1,000 Naira airtime and 2,000 Naira Uber discount sound? All this could come true when you buy the No Unwrap and Win pack. Open it, look for a cube with a 6-digit code on its wrapper, text the code to 8011 and follow the prompts to stand a chance to win any of these instant prizes. Promo valid from July till December. Terms and conditions apply. Get extra value on the No Unwrap and Win pack. No, eat for good.
Is it okay to make fun of our tooth gap? Let's have a talk. Colgate makes your teeth so strong. Stop cover your mouth. Not to do yanga with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate. 0 cavities and fresh breath. If you use a Colgate paste, not to do yanga with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate. Colgate, #1 oral care brand in the world. Pocari Sweat. My iron squeeze can't get enough. My iron squeeze give it to me now. Pocari Sweat. It go rehydrate you, yeah. Replenish your iron with Pocari Sweat. Rehydrate you faster, easy we observe. Pocari Sweat. Give me some more. Pocari Sweat.
Looking for ways to save your data? It starts with your apps. Deleting unused apps helps, but there is more. Most apps have data saver modes. Activate them to control data usage. You can also go to settings to turn off auto updates. Lastly, close unused apps to save data when you ain't using your apps. These changes can make a big difference. For more information, visit your mobile operator's website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for more helpful tips. Stay connected and enjoy smarter data usage. This message is brought to you by the Association of Telecom Operators and Nigerian Communications Commission.
If your car just got bashed like that, would you be this person?
See how you bashed my car, eh? Are you driving with your eyes closed? Did you leave your brakes at home? Who is going to pay for this damage? You have entered it today. By the time I finish with you, you will know who I am.
Or this person.
Are you okay? You're sure? Don't worry about the damage. I am AXA covered.
Being AXA covered is now easier. With AXA Comprehensive Motor Insurance, you can even insure your car today and pay monthly. Call 0700 AXA Mansard or visit axamansard.com to get started now.
My kids love tasty snacks, but many snacks are not so good for them. That's why I love the new Milo Anna snacks.
We love it, Mom.
Yes, it's a delicious snack with the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and crunchy Niger-grown maize containing calcium, iron, and fiber.
So, pack Milo and snacks in their lunchbox every day to help your kids refuel at break time and keep winning all day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Big things, Nemo like.
We know you love big things. That's why we brought back the Pepsi 60cl long front bottle. It's big refreshment, big value, big flex, big tins. Pepsi 60cl long front bottle is back. Big tins. Pepsi, thirsty for more.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Easy to open, easy to squeeze, easy to scoop, and easy to store.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
You're listening to Jimi Disu right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back to the Daily Digest, and I'm with Mrs. Adeni, who we try to do it every month, but because of our schedule, it doesn't work like that. I think we try to do it every quarter or so.
No, last Friday of the month.
So that we can. We encourage you to call in and ask questions. I'd like those who have questions to ask, which is the real thought behind all this. If you do have questions. As for the topic, this is somebody, are you hearing that,
yes,
madam?
Sir.
As for the topic, I want to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
The law in domestic violence, does it apply to men and women or to only men? Because I've never heard that a woman was arrested due to domestic violence. Is that true?
Oh, no. It's any person. The DV law says any person.
But have you arrested any woman?
Oh, yes. We've we've secured restraining orders against women. We've arrested, there was a particular woman that spent a month in Kirikiri because she couldn't perfect her bill.
Really?
Oh, yes.
She was beating the man?
She was physically... why do you say yeah? But you see, these are the issues.
The one that beat me, the one I got beaten in primary school, I haven't forgotten up till today. Because what happened was, when I was looking somewhere else, she was much bigger than I am. She gave me a chico from behind. I was on the floor and she sat on me. She's still penning me up to And I think that universally, it's always, when you talk about domestic violence,
people think, it's women.
But having said that, in the Western world, women are extremely powerful. We haven't gotten to that point here.
Hopefully we don't, because you have situations where there are false reports, false allegations made. We hope that it will not get to that point. But to answer the question, the law is not a respecter of gender. It says any person who physically abuses another.
Do we have that tilt here towards female power?
So I think in terms of female empowerment, there's a movement. There's a huge movement, empowering the girl child, Now
I'm talking about female power in the sense that if there's a domestic problem in the Western world, the woman is given priority. For example, if you have a domestic problem, it's the man that is asked to leave the home, not the woman. Usually.
Wait, hold on. Who is the one perpetrating the violence? Is it the woman or the man?
I tend to believe that either way the man carries the can at some point.
Well, I'm not sure.
I seem to believe that women are overprotected in the Western
world.
Because of the cases that we get,
And how issues have evolved over the years.
Have evolved. It's always the man that is carrying the suitcase out of the house. It happened to a friend of mine.
He was not the perpetrator.
No, to be honest, he had a babe. He was in America. He had a babe, and the woman waited till he finished paying his his mortgage, and reported him. And the police came to his house, and she called him from where he was at. You have a visitor, and they handed him and told him he had to leave the house, and gave him a restraining order that he mustn't be within
10 kilometers. But for that to be done, there must be evidence of violence. You can't just say, I'm done with you, please come and arrest this person. It's a crime. Bringing the police in.
Social media every day, we are seeing men who are complaining that I brought her from the village, and now she threw me out of the house.
Is that why Is that why you must be?
Don't you have any male director in the agency? Come, Mrs. Bible, I have been to domestic violence office a few times. I haven't seen one single man. Do you have a male?
We have.
You have a male lawyer.
Our ratio is 70-30. 70 female, 30 male.
Why is that?
Most of our males are in the field operations, community engagement.
Yes.
We have one.
Then there's the females that are back home dealing with the men. Almost Sheriff, whatever you want to do, don't go. If you go on a friendly visit, it's okay. But if you go to Mrs. Adeniyi's office, female lawyers, they will deal with you. How is babe self? Mrs.
Oseni, she's fine. She's fine.
They will deal with you. It is important, let me stress again what we've been talking about. It is important that you know that it is a crime to neglect your children.
Yes.
Please, it's not a macho thing. It's a crime against the law. It's a crime against the law, and it's a crime against the laws of God and the states.
Yes.
So it's important for you to know, and I'd like to request that please let's name and shame them like we do for those who are into rape. Let's start it next year and name and shame. Let us be able to say that, oh, there's a Mr. whatever it is, and this is why he's in prison. Maybe that would make a lot of our men sit up, because it's such a...
very disheartening.
It's very disheartening. You can disagree with the woman.
But don't extend it to the children.
Yes, you can decide that you don't want to have anything to do with the woman again.
Yes.
But you should be clear-minded. Exactly. And if you have a feeling that the children are not yours, DNA these days are to a penny.
But do you know why they do that? Because it's still part of the desire to control. They know that if they remain in control, there's a high likelihood that that woman will come back. So it's still part of the whole, the whole gamut of domestic violence. It's really to control and dominate. If a man just voluntarily, provides for the children,
yes,
then there's a high likelihood that she's going to move on.
Oh, I see. They don't even want her to move on.
They don't. They want her to remain in that abusive relationship. And you hear
do you do mental evaluation for these people sometimes?
That's part of the services.
Do what the road safety had to do. You remember there was a time road safety said if you went, I think it was Lagos State government, if you went on the wrong side, the first of all send you, let us check out
if
his brain and see where you walk by. There's something, We need to protect our children.
Definitely.
We do need to protect our children.
Definitely.
And 02. Look at the lines, Mrs. Adeniyi. Let's pick them one by one. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle JD.
Yes, quickly.
Good morning to your guest as well.
Morning, ma'am.
Uncle JD, what do you have noticed what Nigeria Info is doing to enlighten men and women against domestic violence, and even Madam Vivor's group as well? But my question is on child support. The interaction I've had with a couple of women, why they don't want to leave abuses, because who would support them? The man will not want to support in a bit to punish the woman after separation of divorce. And a couple of lawyers say nothing like child support in our laws, that they don't, clamp on the men for child support, unlike in the Western world. Please, what's that take on that?
But you just heard her now that there is a law on child support.
Yes. Even if he gets to the divorce, or judicial separation, it's part of the orders that the court makes.
I also like to. I don't mind women empowerment and things like that, but I would rather encourage our women. If you are not ready, either both psychologically and financially, as it were, ready. Don't go into these marriages that place you in a place where you can't even provide an income for yourself.
Some don't know that they
are going into... But they should know that.
No, some don't know. Some don't see the red flags. Some... See, sir, we are all a product of our socialization. The manner in which marriage has been sold to us. A woman is not complete if she's not married. If she doesn't have MRS in front of her name, it's not even enough. She must bear children. It's not enough. She must bear a male child. So there's so much pressure.
No, the one of male child now has been thrown out of the window.
It hasn't been thrown out.
Because a lot of people have suddenly realized that their female children are more. Yes.
It hasn't been thrown out, sir. In fact, there are still some people that are experiencing violence because they have not been able to bear a male child.
I want to boys to one town. They now know. Those were the days when you needed a man on the farm. These days,
you would think so.
I'm telling
Uncle
you,
Jimmy, you would
these
think so.
These days, Men now realize that their female children,
not all men,
are they're a bigger asset to them.
Not all
in the
men.
days of wanting to have 24 children and 20 of them being men you can use on your farm, those days are gone.
Not all men, no.
Not all men, but we will enlighten them.
Please.
I'm not generally bothered about the sex of a child, to be honest with you.
You're
Because
you're an outlier.
No, but it's also, we should also tell our women,
yes,
marriage is not sacrosanct. You don't
It's
have to
not.
be.
Yes.
If you find yourself, I would rather tell women now to be financially independent to a point
before
going into marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you should be you should be able to stand on your own.
Yes.
And I don't like this. I don't like it. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I don't like the way it sounds to me when what are we doing about women empowerment who find themselves like widows and so on and so forth, who find themselves suddenly without an income or whatever. You have yourself to blame in a way. That's the honest to God truth. Being in employment and whatever has